So the New York Football Jets, do people say that? I don't think so. They draft Garrett Wilson here. We felt like, every mock draft I did, I had them going corner at 4 and wide receiver at 10. It seemed like that was going to be the move. Drake London was already off the board, so they go Garrett Wilson here. Maybe he was their first quarterback regardless, or excuse me, first wide receiver regardless, as this will now have some Wilson to Wilson combinations, which could be fun. So let's get into the film. Fair warning, I'm a bit lower on Garrett Wilson than others. Kind of my thought on him is he's the jack of all trades, but what is he amazing at? But he's really good, and I think that he is a very, I still have him as a first-round talent. So, and wide receiver, as I always say, very difficult position to predict. There's a lot of variance, so it's just a hard, around the NFL, guys miss it a lot. That's something that happens. But anyways, let's get into what I like about him. So let's start off with a play like this. So I've highlighted where Garrett Wilson is on the screen. I've kind of written it's an out route. It's kind of more of a curl route. But anyways, that's sort of, not as relevant. This is what I think Wilson can do well. So first, watch him get the outside leverage, which what this does is it forces the defensive back to now have to look towards the, outside, right? He has to watch Garrett Wilson, which now means he cannot look at the quarterback. So he now cannot read where the ball is, whereas Wilson can. And this is what Wilson does a very good job of, is getting guys to get their backs turned towards the quarterback, so that way he can adjust to the ball, whereas his opponents can't. So then right when Wilson stops, there is some, separation there, and throw is a bit behind him. I'm not sure if that was a communication issue or what, but the reality was there was an opportunity for him to, for that throw to be made. So that's kind of what's good. Let's move on to one like this now. So what we're going to see here, this is just, again, I actually like looking at these plays and evaluating wide receivers, because it's basically just a play where, the wide receiver is going to get the ball in their hands. Can they make moves to get guys to miss? What's their breakaway speed? All of that stuff. Well, Wilson's, this is going to be one of probably his best play that he's ever made. Watch what's going to happen on this one. So just the way it works is that it's a quick screen pass to Wilson. So he's going to be the guy who, I'm showing on the screen as not blocking, but instead kind of going to go right to that B in the Big Ten logo. Look, as you see, this throw is going to go to Wilson. And okay, defensive player kind of took a weird angle to get to Wilson. So this is, it's good. You want to be able to make this move. And if you can get a lot of separation, but watch a lot of yards, really is what I mean. You can get down the field well, because there's not much down the field if you can just make this one move. And as you see, he does in fact make that move, and he's going to not just do that, but pick up a ton more yards, even stiff arms a guy, and then eventually goes down. Listen, the stiff arm itself, it's not like he was going out there being Derrick Henry, stiff-arming guys left and right. Don't get too excited about that necessarily. It's more about the breakaway speed he had and being able to pick up just a ton of yards on that play. That's what's cool about him. And there's also stuff like this, where it's going to be man coverage, and you see Garrett Wilson running over the middle, so it's a one-on-one matchup, and, I like looking at this stuff. Man coverage, how well do you do? Listen, getting into a soft spot in zone, certainly there's value there, but I think the best indicator can you win against man consistently? Maybe not the best indicator, but a good indicator of will you be able to be successful at the next level is where you're able to beat college guys and beat them consistently. Right when this play begins, you do see how Garrett Wilson, just makes a move and causes the player who he was going up against to fall down, and he gets wide open right here. So great job by him. There is another defender who can try to come in and make the play. However, as you see, Wilson still goes up, makes the grab, and is able to pick up a good amount of yards on top of it. So again, great play from Garrett Wilson as he was able to go over and just make that play work. And there also is stuff like this where Garrett Wilson, listen, he's not the best route runner in this class, but he would use his route running to get himself open at times. And this is an example. It's quarters coverage, and you see him running an out route. So this route can work. On paper, you can see how it can work, right? There is that kind of that little bubble just underneath the corner zone. Corner has to make sure he doesn't get beat deep. But how can you make sure that you get as open as possible, and preferably as far down the field as possible when you're getting open? Watch how Wilson is going to kind of fake as though he's going over the middle, so that way, again, a good sort of fake gets to the right, goes to the left, got open, ball didn't come his way, I don't care, I'm evaluating Garrett Wilson, the player, and Garrett Wilson, the player, made a great play on that one. So that's kind of what, again, that's what I like about Garrett Wilson is he isn't just a one-trick pony. He isn't just a fast guy. He is someone who can move as well. This is why you see some people having him as wide receiver 1, which, you know, I don't, but I don't think it's insane to say that. Again, there's stuff like this. This is probably his bread and butter, and I think it's fair to have concerns about how well this will work at the next level, but you know, kind of a similar thing I said about Jamar Chase, where I was like, okay, Jamar Chase is blowing by all these guys and I'm making contested catches over them, but is that going to work at the next level? I don't know. And then it just worked at the next level, and so he was awesome. And I think Garrett Wilson's kind of a similar guy, where I don't think it's a bad process necessarily to say, let's be concerned about if plays like this work at the next level. I don't know, but there's a chance it will work at the next level, and if it does, he could be awesome. I mean, watch him really just blow by the corner who's trying to cover him, and he's going to eventually, again, get a guy to fall down, gets wide open, makes the catch, and picks up a big gain on that one. So the highlight reel level plays from Garrett Wilson are highlight reel level plays. There's really nothing he's bad at. You could argue that there, you know, other guys are better at certain traits, but there's no real hole in his game, and so he feels like he's, you know, got a very high floor, and it's very hard to imagine him sucking at the next level, especially when you watch his tape. It seems like, okay, even if all this stuff doesn't work at the NFL level, some of it certainly will. So yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Zach Wilson needed some receiver help. That's something that they desperately needed. They have some guys that can be solid, but the hope here is that Garrett Wilson can come in and be that #1 wide receiver that the Jets could really use. And quite frankly, I do like him in this scheme. I think that he should be able to be good in this system, in the Jets system. I think that the way that they kind of, you know, it's a Shanahan system. So having a lot of guys who are quality route runners, which Wilson is, you can go out and, you know, having guys who can just be one of those guys, I think he can absolutely do that. That's kind of his, you know, floor, I guess. And I've kind of always felt like Garrett Wilson, I think it's fair to say that there's guys with higher ceilings than Garrett Wilson. I believe that. But I also think it's very fair to say he might have the highest floor out of anyone in this draft class. And when we talk about ceilings and floors, that's kind of, you know, part of what I think about this. So if that is the case, and you do believe he has the highest floor out of anyone in this draft class, that's kind of good because, again, you can't afford to miss on this pick. You're doing it to help out Zach Wilson. You don't want to go through another year of him not working out. And if you did go Jameson Williams, well, guess what could have potentially happened? You know, he might not be back right away, and then you don't actually get the benefit of why you are spending this pick here in the first place. So, and maybe there's like, plenty of people like Garrett Wilson better than Jameson Williams anyways, so maybe it's a moot point. But just something I figured I'd bring up as well. But yeah, I have no issue helping out Zach Wilson here. I think it's a smart move. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this selection? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.